Showrunner Tim Minear, the co-creator of the 911 franchise, along with Ryan Murphy and Brad Falchuk, has done a few interviews to defend his decision to take off Captain Bobby Nash, Peter Krause, at the end of Lab Rats. His argument boils down to the fact that he felt compelled to shock the audience, to instill a sense of life-threatening peril in the disasters that the 118 may encounter, to make them second-guess themselves a little more the next time a fan-favorite key character is on his way to death. I'm not sure if Minear is correct to kill Bobby. That is absolutely dependent on how the program changes, or does not change, as we approach Season 9. But he is right to remark that the audience needed to be horrified. Even as footage of Bobby's funeral appeared online, many viewers speculated that there had to be some sort of twist that allowed the 118th leader to remain alive. Even last week, in my review of the episode Sick Day, I dismissed the notion that anything could happen that would fundamentally alter what 911 is. To be fair, shows teach you how to watch them. Up until now, 911 has taught us that the primary characters are indestructible. Before it can start shocking the viewer, Lab Rats must first resolve the cliffhanger from last week's episode. Dr. Moira Blake, Bridget Reagan, has the antiviral, which is the only thing that can rescue the afflicted Howard, Kenneth Choi. However, Athena, Angela Bassett, and Buck, Oliver Stark, can easily locate her. Moira hopes to sell the treatment to a pharmaceutical company, making millions and becoming a hero for averting the global pandemic she caused. The CEO to whom she makes this presentation pretends to be intrigued until Athena and Buck come and grab Moira. Kristen Rydell, Molly Green, and James Leffler wrote Lab Rats and directed it. It's a little more entertaining than the first half of the two-parter. Athena and Buck must avoid the FBI, who would rather let everyone locked in the lab perish, while simultaneously searching for Moira. It's also interesting to witness Athena, who can be so vehemently pro-law enforcement, break nearly every law when she feels like it. They eventually ask Karen, Tracy Toms, for help in learning more about Moira. Tommy, Lou Ferrigno Jr., makes an appearance to offer assistance in fleeing the feds. In the end, Howard gets the cure. He is saved. Tommy's comeback, in which he claims to have aided Buck and Chimney, could be bad news for Buddy's hopes, which have faded in recent episodes. I liked how neither side had to apologize for their separate tantrums the previous time they saw each other in Holy Mother of God. They definitely meant what they said on some level, and it will be intriguing to see how Tommy reacts to Buck and Eddie's, Ryan Guzman, upcoming reunion, as all three will be present for Bobby's. The only obvious flaw in this section of the episode, aside from the fact that Athena and Buck will face no consequences for their acts, is Moira herself. Lab Rats can't get rid of its main villain quickly enough, with the microbiologist seems unconcerned about the fact that she'll spend the rest of her life in prison. It can be forgiven in this case because the episode contains more relevant information. However, it is the second time in as many weeks, following Abigail Spencer's Detective Braeburn, that 911 introduced a compelling enemy in the early half only to fail to deliver later. Even without the theories and the denials regarding Bobby's fate in the weeks preceding up Lab Rats, there's something slightly unsettling about how the episode develops. Bobby shares a final moment with Howard, Hen, Aisha Hines, and Ravi, Anirudh Pisharodi. Bobby's decision is clinched in what may be his final conversation with Howard, during which they discuss Maddie, Jennifer Love Hewitt, and her pregnancy. With only one injection of the cure, Bobby decides that Howard will be the one to live. Bobby became infected with the virus. He tells Buck, who is shocked, that it most likely happened during the explosion, which caused a gap in his air supply, leaving him susceptible. Before removing his protective mask and shutting himself in the lab, Bobby tells Buck, "You'll be okay, Buck. Remember that. They'll need you. I love you, kid." More than many of Bobby's final comments to 118, and more than most of the overt grief that 911 will display in the coming episodes, these few lines hit like a ton of bricks. It is a fitting send-off to a wonderful father-son relationship that, while never as explicit as it could have been, was extremely important in shaping Evan Buckley's personality. Bobby's active decision to kneel and pray in his closing moments strikes me as noteworthy. Bobby then offers his final words to Athena, tying everything back to the unfortunate deaths that Bobby will never fully forgive himself for. He claims to have felt like he was living on borrowed time, telling his wife that L.A. was supposed to be my penance, not my home. When Athena agreed to go to dinner with him back in season 1, he began to feel differently. Bobby forgot he was supposed to suffer, as the show has previously depicted in a moving way. He doesn't want to die, but he accepts it after saving his crew. The status quo would always be reset, with the characters having learned a useful lesson as they pursue their happy endings with the ones they care about. As heartbreaking as it is, and as beautifully performed by Krause, I'm struck again by the episode's subtler decisions. Bobby's turn away from Athena when he coughs up blood strikes me as a sign that he does not want Athena to remember him that way. Bobby's active decision to kneel and pray in his closing moments strikes me as noteworthy. Most importantly, I am left with something that did not occur during this episode. It's a throwaway moment from the previous episode that marks the last time we see Athena and Bobby happy together. They are making preparations in their new home, with Athena teasing May, Corinne Messiah, and Harry, Elijah M. Cooper, about how they can come visit but not stay for too long. Bobby smiles as he assures his stepchildren that they will always be welcome. He meant it, but he was undoubtedly looking forward to relaxing. Perhaps he was planning to retire in a few more years. He would have liked to spend more time with his estranged mother, as they had only recently reconnected. For 8 seasons, across 2 networks, and under a few different showrunners, 911 was the type of show that would have given Bobby everything. A crowbar poking out of Howard's head was never an issue, nor was Buck being struck by lightning, Eddie being shot by a sniper, or Maddie having her throat sliced. The status quo would always be reset, with the characters having learned a useful lesson as they pursue their happy endings with the ones they care about. It's not the same show anymore. What happens next will determine whether Bobby's death was justified, and whether it meant anything other than stunning viewers out of their expectations. But the prospect of Bassett playing Athena when she returns to the home she had hoped to share with Bobby, and having to confront it alone, sounds like enough gasoline to make 911 Season 9 one of the greatest. Season 8 of 911 premieres on Thursday, May 1st at 8 p.m. Eastern Time on ABC and will be available on Hulu the following day.